Pike County investigators say a man accused of killing 3 people in Delight over the weekend may have been distraught over a custody issue.
In Arkansas, a car like this one with more than 70% damage that most people would consider a total loss can actually be given a clean title. Why? It's more than 7 years old. The explosion was so powerful, the doors to this building were blown apart and the roof, once flat, is now bowed.
Absolutely. I called the governor's office immediately afterwards and ended up having to break the news to them. Now, the governor had no idea that the lieutenant governor would resign today, and Dar hints at this in his statement, saying, quote, "I submit that resignation to the people of Arkansas, not to an elected official." What we understand right now, the female victim is a Parkview student. She was inside for graduation practice, had walked out to her vehicle. That's when she spotted someone that the police believe she knew. There were no explosives inside, just a bunch of personal items. But even so, the dogs continue to key in on that piece of luggage. So now the FBI, the TSA, and the bomb squad are all taking samples. 7-year-old Trenton Williams has cystic fibrosis. It's a disease that not only shortens the lives of its victims, but also threatens them. Every school day for the last 2 years, Trenton was placed in the care of a woman known as Suzanne Pitts, a woman Trenton and his mom Rachel trusted with a precious life, and a woman who, despite the licenses hanging on her office wall, was not a nurse.
Well, I'm just ready to ride this. I ride my bike. And I play on fishing and hunting with my friend.
At first glance, 7-year-old Trenton is a typical boy, but if you spend some time with him, you'll see all he has to do to seem typical. Trenton has cystic fibrosis. He was diagnosed just 1 day after he was born, facing stomach and bowel resections. In the 7 years since, his stays at Children's have been frequent.
It changed our lives forever.
Normal things like the first day of kindergarten called into question. Was it safe? Who would supervise his treatments?
She was a great person. I mean, she really was. She cared about Trenton. She seemed to care about his treatment.
And in return, Rachel Williams and her son Trenton cared about Miss Pitts, even changing school districts to stay with her. But no one knew Pitts was really Suzanne Johnson, with a lengthy criminal past, including practicing medicine without a license in Florida in 1989 and in Tennessee in 1990. After 6 years at Sidney Diener, she's facing those charges again.
She lied to parents. She lied to me. She lied to Trenton, who was in tears because that was his friend.
And the caregiver to a child battling a dangerous disease.
The medicine he has to have every day, she's administered that. He has to have sometimes 4 breathing treatments a day with airway clearance, a vest machine that shakes the mucus out, closely monitored and everything.
Rachel also trusted the school, but when we called previous employers listed on Johnson's resume, we quickly discovered several errors. She was fired from one place for not having a nursing license and subbed at Bradford for a day, not a year.
Complete neglect. I mean, that person is to take care of how many kids? A whole school, and you don't call a reference? Or you call a reference and ignore it? It takes how long to put a license number in the computer?
Rachel spoke to the school superintendent today to find out what can be done about her child's medical forms that are no longer valid.
What did Miss Barrett say to that?
That she's still employed, that it's fine. We would discuss that later. We're not discussing. No.
A lot of parents are upset about this. The school district denied our request for an interview regarding their hiring practices. Christina? The businesses are not registered with the Secretary of State, but have been operating since 2006. Among the complaints, selling cars without a clear title, not disclosing the vehicle is a salvage car, and changing contract terms after the purchaser has already signed. More than 40 customers of these North Little Rock car dealerships say they've been scammed by owner Chidi Ukegbu. Scales Auto opened its lot in 2006, but Tuesday, this office looked deserted. The only people in sight, Vincente Colley and Alfredo Alanis, who bought a car here last month, fixed it up and tried to sell it, but ran into trouble when they tried to register it with the Department of Revenue.
He sells that car because that tire is not clean.
It's not a clear title.
No, it's not a clear tire.
At least 8 others say they've had the same problem, but tracking down Ukegbu isn't easy.
We've been calling, we've been coming here twice a week, but we can find these persons.
I stopped by his home, and though a car was in the driveway, no one answered the door.
Something is not right over here, yeah.
The Attorney General alleges Ukegbu added terms to contracts after customers had already signed, then tried to hold them to the changes. He also allegedly refused to produce titles, leaving customers like Alfredo with uninsurable cars and stacks of meaningless paper.
But he's trying to fix in the title. It's a problem. It's a big problem. We got papers.
Well, Beth, in this affidavit, Bob Harris states that GT Wrecker Service tried to charge him an extra $150, claiming that that fee will go to the state police. But it turns out that state police don't collect any fees. Bob Harris was heading home from a funeral when he noticed his car was running hot and giving him a lot of trouble. Rather than risk more damage, Harris decided to leave his Lincoln on the side of the road.
Monday evening, I came back and had my friend drive me up there, and the car wasn't there. I couldn't believe it.
State police had his car towed by GT Wrecker Service, a company on the approved wrecker rotation list. When Harris called to get the car back, though, he was surprised at the cost.
It was $265 or $61, around those figures. And he proceeded to tell me that $150 of that went to the state police.
That $150 fee doesn't exist. State police get no money for tows.
This is a letter from the G&T Wrecker Service.
Harris complained to state police, who responded by sending this letter to the wrecker. After citing a previous violation, state police permanently removed the company from the rotation. We stopped by GT Wrecker Service to get an explanation. Though unable to talk on camera, the owner says this is all a big misunderstanding. He claims his employee told Harris the fee was standard for state police tows, not that the money went to state police. Harris paid a reduced fee and picked up his car, but hopes to see issues like this addressed on a larger scale.
I would like to see the legislatures at least regulate what they can charge.
Now, GT Wrecker Service is appealing the state police's decision. As far as legislation regulating wrecker services goes, I spoke to Senator Eddie Joe Williams today, who's on a committee looking into that solution. He says expect a bill on that in 2015.
Okay, thanks for looking into this for us tonight, Janelle.
Finding a place to park at the mall is never easy during the holidays, but the most convenient spot in the lot remained open a little bit longer on Wednesday because shopper Tracy Richardson chose to do the right thing.
Well, I didn't even think about it. I just saw a spot here. I mean, I didn't even go in looking for a handicap spot. I was just looking for a regular spot to park in.
Richardson could have gotten away with it. Her son has a disability, and even though he wasn't running errands with her, the placard still hangs in her car. But the thought didn't even cross her mind.
Because it's for the elderly and the people that's disabled, and during the holidays, a lot of people are at the mall shopping, and especially the elderly people, and they need a place to park.
Unfortunately, that example of goodwill toward man is more rare during the holidays, according to Joy Weir at the Spinal Cord Commission.
When those spaces are misused, then we're infringing on their rights to be able to do the same thing that I or you or anyone else wants to do, and that's get the bargains and get them quick.
In a crowded parking lot, you can often find a motorcycle blocking accessibility spots so vans can't lower their wheelchairs. Even shopping carts can render the spot unusable. And the boldest offenders, folks without any tag, taking the space. The commission wants all of that to change.
This holiday season, they're asking for your help. If you see a car parked illegally, take a picture of the license plate from the back, walk around the front and take a picture showing that there's no placard. You can submit those photos on their website and leave a note asking folks to obey the law.
Concerned citizens can actually access the form, fill it out, and send it to us. So we can document this and pass it on to law enforcement.
Holding shoppers accountable is good, but what the season really needs is more people like Tracy.
It really should be all year round. It really should.
Janelle Lilly, Channel 7 News.